already played like 40 some games on my Nintendo Switch 2 since it launched, but there's even more games on the horizon that I'm incredibly excited about and I want to talk about today. Some of these games are coming this year still, like Nintendo exclusives, big ones are dropping this year, and then early next year we have some other fantastic games, and we even have some games that we don't quite know the dates on yet because they haven't officially been confirmed, and we're going to talk about all those games today. So I've got 11 games here that I can't wait to play on my Switch 2. Let's get into it. First up, this one comes out next week, Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, I have said numerous times that I am just not super sure on this particular game. I am a huge Pokemon fan. If you didn't know, before I ran this channel, I ran a Pokemon YouTube channel that focused on competitive Pokemon play that had like nearing 14,000 subscribers. I really like Pokemon. It's one of my favorite game series of all time, and I have like 1,000 hours in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so naturally, I'm excited for the next Pokemon game. I am over the moon, ready to play ZA, especially that we've had, you know, Scarlet and Violet for as long as we have. I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of ready for something new, and ZA is going to give me that. The thing about ZA though that I'm just on the fence about is everything that they've shown us thus far just hasn't piqued my interest that much. I think the Megas coming back is cool. The new battle mechanics seem okay, but it just doesn't really seem super exciting. I think the game looks fantastic as far as how it's running performance wise. It looks like on the Switch 2 we're getting a solid 60 frames per second, and it doesn't look like there's any sort of hiccups. Everybody that's demoed the game says that there's no hiccups, which is really exciting. So that's really positive in the side of Pokemon, but as far as like the actual gameplay, I'm just not completely sold on it yet, like I was with Legends Arceus. I loved Legends Arceus. That is one of the best Pokemon games in recent memory, and I just couldn't get enough of that particular game, but they really changed course with Legends ZA with the new battle mechanics, which I think could be very cool, and I have hope that it's going to be very cool. I'm just not completely sold yet, and I've heard from other people, you know, that have demoed the game already, people that I trust in the community, that, you know, this game cooks. It is absolutely fantastic once you get your hands on it. So I'm thinking that's what's gonna be the real determining factor for me, is once I get my hands on it, I'm probably gonna turn around on this game. But it's the one game on this list that I'm just like, I just don't know. I don't know about 100%. It's already pre-ordered. I'm gonna play it, review it here on the channel, talk about it here on the channel. But yeah, I'm not completely sold on it yet, and I'm hoping that turns around next week when this game comes out. But like I said, I am excited for it nonetheless. I think the new location, the way they've redone Lumio City is really cool from X and Y. The new Mega Evolutions are really cool. I'm excited to check out the other ones that have yet to be announced, especially for the starter Pokemon. I'm really keen to see what those end up looking like. It's just, there's a lot of cool stuff as a Pokemon fan that I'm looking forward to, but I just want to see what this gameplay loop actually looks like, and hopefully it just grabs me. Hopefully it's a game I can't put down. Next up, I have Mina The Hollower, and I've been following this game for a while, and I'm really excited about it. It comes from the developers of Shovel Knight, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like an old school GBA Zelda game, and that just already excites me. That already, just the graphics and the way this game looks, excites me. Now, there is a demo available right now on the Nintendo Switch 2 that I still have yet to play, and I plan to make a video talking about the demo and giving my impressions on it closer to the launch of the game. I want to check this game out, but it is on my must-play list. I am super excited. It comes out on October 31st. I'm really thinking this game is going to cook. Shovel Knight's already fantastic, so I imagine that they'll cook again with Mina The Hollower. It just looks like a ton of fun, and it's also getting that 120 FPS mode on the Nintendo Switch 2, just like Hollow Knight Silksong did. So that's really cool as well, seeing a game take advantage of the hardware. Granted, it's a less graphically intense game than some of the other games that we've seen on the system so far, so not super shocking it's hitting that 120 just like Silksong, but still really cool that it's there nonetheless. So that's one you need to keep your eye on, and try the demo out if you haven't already. Alright, Future Kneeckoh here, and I just got home from a training from work, and I got an update on something that I'm talking about in this particular video. I literally recorded the video, left for the work training, and then came back home and this dropped. So we got news that Mina The Hollower is actually getting delayed. It's no longer on October 31st. So we don't know when this game's actually coming out now. It could still be this year. I'd imagine it's probably this year, being that this is kind of a last second delay. But we really don't know. I have the tweet here from Yacht Club Games. This week, our team made the tough decision. We decided to delay Mina The Hollower. The entire crew has been working tirelessly day and night to finish the development for release on October 31st, but we're just not quite there yet. So let's see if they actually gave any sort of indication as when the game is actually going to come out here. Finalizing design and art, overall game balancing, implementing, good lord, localization, eating cheese, testing on all platforms. No, it doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of official date here on when this is coming out. So that's just something to know. So it got delayed. Honestly, if the game's not ready yet, I'm totally fine. I've said this before with other games. If a game's not ready, the delay is the best thing that can happen to it. I'm still really excited for this particular game, but I wanted to throw this update in this video because this just literally dropped while I was at work. Next up, I have Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. This one's dropping November 6th, and I am super stoked for this game because I really enjoyed Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity on the original Nintendo Switch, but that game had a lot of issues as far as performance was concerned. It had a lot of frame dips, it didn't run super great, but it was still a really fun game, and getting more additional story in that Breath of the Wild universe is really, really fun. I really like that aspect of these games, and the fact that the Age of Imprisonment is canonical to Tears of the Kingdom and everything, that makes this game even more enticing. Pair this with the fact that now we have the boosted hardware of the Nintendo Switch 2, and we can have even more enemies on screen. We can have better frame rates, allowing for a game like a Warriors game to actually thrive on the system and be a better experience. That already really excites me, especially when you look back at the other Hyrule Warrior games. They're already running better on the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware, so the fact that this one's coming out, and from everything I've seen in the trailers, it's looking like this game is running at 60 frames per second. That really, really excites me for this particular game. I'm keen to see what characters we're able to play as, what story beats they're going to be. It's just a lot of fun packed into this game. Again, with it being canonical, we can see so much more of the Tears of the Kingdom story that we missed and only gotten snippets throughout that particular game, which is just really, really enticing as someone who's a fan of the newer Zelda games. Next up, I have Kirby Air Riders, and I'm very excited for this game because I really like racers in general. I like Mario Kart. I really enjoyed Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I'm waiting for the Switch 2 version of that particular game, but yeah, I just really like that style of game. But this almost looks like you take a Mario Kart style game and then you smash it together with Smash, no pun intended. Smash Bros definitely looks like it inspired this game, which makes sense because Sakurai is behind it, but just all of the Smash-like elements, just down to the graphics and the UI and some of the things in this game, I really like. And the city mode looks so cool. That looks like it's going to be an absolute blast to hop into and do races on that. There's just seems like there's going to be a lot of support for this particular game. I'm also excited for the amiibos personally. I think the amiibo look really cool, so I'm planning to get the Bandana Waddle Dee amiibo as well as the Kirby amiibo. I don't know that I'll get any of the others, but those two I definitely am planning to get because I kind of like the player aspect where you like sync them up and then you can level up your character. I think that sounds really cool, and the fact that they're interchangeable between the machines that they're on, I think that's really cool as well. But just this game, I feel like it's going to be that game that I can keep going back to. I've been really missing a game that I can simply grind on the system, and I think there's a game coming that we're going to talk about later that will do that for me. But I think Kirby Air Riders can definitely be one of those games that I just keep going back to and grinding and getting better and better and better at, and that excites me because I was looking forward to Borderlands and that one got delayed, so that was going to be the game that did that for me on the Switch 2 hardware. But yeah, I think Kirby Air Riders has that same potential to get me hooked and keep me grinding and getting better and better at the game, so I'm really looking forward to Kirby Air Riders. That one drops on November 20th. On the same day as Kirby Air Riders, we have the physical version of Hades 2. Hades 2 is already on the Nintendo Switch 2. You're able to play this game already if you are interested in picking up the digital version. However, they are releasing this game fully on the cartridge on the Nintendo Switch 2, so I'm waiting until November 20th to get this game because I want the full game on the cartridge. And I'm fine waiting. I already played the early access on Steam. I already know this game's fantastic, and I know that this game will do exactly what I was describing with Kirby Air Riders, where this game is absolutely going to hook me, and I'm going to grind and grind and grind, and I cannot wait for having a game like that on my Switch 2. And like I said, I've already played the early access, so I know what I'm getting into. I've already played Hades. I know what this game's about. I know, you know, enough that I'm super, super stoked, and I could play it now, but again, I want that full physical copy, so I'm very excited for the launch of Hades 2 in November for the Switch 2. Just very, very keen, and all the reviews are looking fantastic for Hades 2. If you haven't already checked it out and you're a digital consumer, go ahead and pick that up right now. It's probably a must-play game of the year. I'm just going to say that just based on my experience with the early access. You don't want to miss this one. You don't want to miss it, and it's got a decent price point. I would highly recommend picking up this game. For me personally, as far as games like this go, the indie games that have those hype levels, this one is higher hyped in my opinion for games that I like than I was for Silksong. I was not as hyped for, I was hyped for Silksong, but not anywhere to the same degree that I was for Hades 2. So now that we're so close to the full launch of Hades 2, and you know, you can already play it, it just, oh man, I'm so ready to jump into that particular game, but I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait. Coming December 4th, we have Metroid Prime Remastered. Now, this game excites and concerns me, okay? Now, I'm not concerned by anything that I've seen in the trailers. The gameplay and everything looks absolutely fantastic. I played Metroid Prime Remaster, my first time playing a Metroid Prime game this year, right before the Switch 2 launched. I had it physically, it was sitting on my shelf, and I had yet to play it, and I was just in the mood for a good Switch game, so I popped that in and started that for the first time, and God, that game hooked me so hard. That game absolutely just took all of my time. I would not put it down until I beat it. And I loved it because it feels like the entire game is an old school Zelda dungeon, like something out of Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess. Those kind of dungeons is what the entire Metroid Prime game felt like, and I loved that, which made me immediately want more. So Metroid Prime 4 Remastered just has me floored and excited to continue playing in that series. Everything I've seen looks fantastic. Yes, it is a Switch 1 game, so a couple areas look a little rough. I still think it looks good. Some areas look rougher, but again, it's a Switch 1 game. I'm not concerned at all. This game is going to look beautiful on the Nintendo Switch 2. The thing I'm concerned about with the Metroid Prime series is the fact that this game was rebooted. You know, they had already worked on it, put a bunch of money into it, and then they had to completely start over, which concerns me simply because of the fact that they spent like $100 million to make this game. And Metroid has never been a big seller as far as Nintendo games go. So it concerns me that, you know, if they don't sell enough of this game, that we aren't going to get more Metroid Prime, which, as someone who just got into Metroid Prime, really devastates me. It really, really devastates me. So I really hope that this game sells gangbusters. I kind of wish they just would have taken the 4 out of the name and just did the Metroid Prime, Metroid Prime Beyond. That would have been so much cooler than just Metroid Prime 4, because, you know, the 4 is intimidating to some people that may have never played the series before. So I would have loved them to just call it Metroid Prime Beyond and then just move on and not worry about a number. But they didn't. So it is a little bit concerning in that regard. I'm hoping this game just sells insane numbers. I want this to be like a 12 to 20 million seller in the Metroid series, so that way we can get more Metroid games on the Switch 2 or on whatever the next Nintendo system is, because I really am hooked, and I'm really hoping we get, you know, Metroid Prime 2 and 3 coming out, and I kind of want to do a video talking about that because I have a feeling that they are coming. So I kind of want to do a video talking about that specifically, but we'll see if I get time and have time to actually get around to that. But yeah, I'm super stoked for Metroid Prime Remastered. It's already pre-ordered. I can't wait. I've already blocked off some time off work so that way I can play it. Maybe I'll stream it. I'm very, very hyped for that game. So now we're going to start moving into the games that don't have actual release dates yet. Maybe they're coming this year, maybe they're not. First up, we have Elden Ring. Now, this one is really a big question mark. They've already demoed it at a couple events, and, you know, it wasn't running fantastically. It was definitely playable based on the people that I've, you know, trust in the community, looking at everybody on the Nintendo Byte podcast. I trust those guys. They said the game's playable and enjoyable. I trust that, but they never gave a firm release date for the actual game to come out on the Switch 2. However, they did say it was a 2025 release when they did the first trailer. So I don't know right now, being that we're so close to the end of the year and we don't have a firm release date on this game, maybe they're going to delay it to 2026 and they're going to take a little extra time to cook and get this game right on the Switch 2, especially when you consider the fact that we have Dustbloods coming next year. They don't want to drop this game on the Switch 2 in a state that it just gets a bad reputation, because then nobody's going to be excited for the exclusive game that's coming next year. And I think that's a big factor as far as why we haven't gotten a release date yet. They want this game to be as good as possible when it launches to keep the hype alive for Dustbloods next year. And that's my theory. So maybe it comes this year. If it gets delayed to next year, I'm not upset at that. I'm fine if they need the extra time to get this game right on the Switch 2, but I will be playing it whenever it drops. So I'm excited for it. Don't know when it's coming. Next game is Borderlands. This one got delayed. This was supposed to come out already and it got delayed, which is fine. I was disappointed simply because I'm a huge Borderlands fan and I was really looking forward to playing this game on my Switch 2. However, if they need more time to cook, they need more time to cook. I'm not mad at that. That's fine. Get this game right. Get it running well, especially the fact that it's not running particularly well on other systems. Fix it get it right on the Switch, so that way it's a great experience whenever we get it. I'm willing to wait for that reason, but we don't know when it got delayed to. They did not give a hard date as to, oh, we need an extra month, we need an extra 2 months. They didn't say any of that. So we don't know exactly when Borderlands 4 is actually coming out on the Nintendo Switch 2. My hope and my dream is that it drops maybe in January, because right now we don't have anything outside of Final Fantasy VII Remake in January. So I really hope that maybe January is the slot for this particular game. I would not like to see it dropped in December, because I feel like because of Metroid and people not fully understanding what Metroid Prime 4 is, or what the Metroid Prime series is, that people will be like, oh, it's another first-person shooter. I've already played Borderlands. I like Borderlands. I'm going to play that instead. I would really like them to stay away from Metroid, so that way more people are like, oh, maybe I'll give Metroid a try. That's kind of my thought process there. Push it to January. If that's like, if you can get it out in the next couple months, just wait till January to push this one out. That's what I'm hoping for. But if it comes out in like November, just keep it away from Metroid. That's what I want. Keep it away from Metroid. That's really where I'm at with Borderlands 4. I'm going to play it whenever it comes out on the Switch 2, but yeah, I just don't want it to hurt the Metroid sales. Now we're going to go into next year. We have early games next year that are coming out that we already know are coming out. Some have release dates, some don't. We're going to talk about it here. First up, I have Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on the Switch 2. Very excited for this one in January, especially at the price point that it was, $40. That's a steal. That's a steal. That feels fantastic, and I hope more studios that are porting games over take that initiative like Square Enix did and said, you know what, this game's been out for a while. Here's the game at a discounted price for early adopters. So if you pre-ordered the game, you got it for $40. That is freaking sweet. I pre-ordered this. I'm getting the keycard version, honestly. This game's 90 gigabytes. It's not going to fit on a normal cartridge anyways, so I'm just going to pick up the keycard. I like the artwork on it. I'm going to pick it up so it's on the shelf. But I'm super, super stoked for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I never played it on any other platforms. This will be my first time. I really didn't get into the Final Fantasy series at all until Final Fantasy 16 on the PlayStation 5. And that game just grabbed me. That game is absolutely fantastic. I really hope that one comes over to the Nintendo Switch too. So that one really sold me and made me want to pick up Final Fantasy VII Remake more. So now I'm keen on that one and I'm really looking forward to it. We know that sometime, we don't know if it's next year or in 2027, when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is supposed to come out on the Switch 2, but it is coming, as well as the third entry in that series. So a lot of Final Fantasy on the horizon for the Switch 2, and that game is looking like it's running beautifully on the hardware. Every gameplay demo that I've seen looks absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to get hands-on with that particular game. Next up, I have Resident Evil Requiem. I'm stoked that this game is coming to Switch 2. I was not anticipating this. I was not at all expecting to see the newest Resident Evil game come so soon, day and date, on the Nintendo Switch 2. That is insane. That is absolutely awesome. And everything I've seen of the demos is that this game is running beautifully on the Nintendo Switch 2. So that, it has me super excited. Now, much like with Final Fantasy, I didn't get in, there's a cat here now, I didn't get into Resident Evil until Resident Evil 8. I played a couple other Resident Evils, you know, after I played Resident Evil 8, but I really didn't get into the series until Resident Evil 8. And then they are also releasing, you know, Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 on the Nintendo Switch 2. I will be playing both of those on the Switch 2 as well, simply because, you know, I never played 7, so I want to play 7 because that ties into 8 directly. I think that's really, really exciting to have the opportunity to play it on the Nintendo Switch natively, because those games were on the Switch as cloud versions. That's not something I'm interested in. I'm into actual having the game on the system. So I'm excited to play both of those, but the main one that I am the most excited about is Resident Evil Requiem. That game looks like it's going to be phenomenal, and the fact that we're getting it day and date is just super exciting. The final game on this list of the games that I'm excited about for next year does not have a date. That is Pokemon Champions. This is probably my most anticipated game for the Switch 2 next year. The reason for that is, like I said at the start of the video, I'm a massive Pokemon fan. I love competitive Pokemon. It is such a great way to experience that game. There's so many layers to it. It's so much fun to play. And this looks like it's doing everything that I've wanted out of competitive Pokemon for so long in this game. It is a self-contained battle simulation game, and we're able to move our Pokemon in from Pokemon Home, and they're going to do competitive play for the actual tournaments in the Pokemon World Series. That is going to be done in Champions. That is now our competitive game moving forward, and that as a competitive player is exciting because they already showed in the trailers that there are sliders so we can adjust the Pokemon stats without having to actually train them like we've had to for so long. And as a competitive player who's done this 1,000 times at this point, that process is stupid and tedious. I absolutely can't stand training teams. I do it because I compete in actual tournaments, but it's dumb because it makes it so much more convoluted and complicated for people to actually get in and play competitive Pokemon. There are so many people out there that play other competitive games. Like my brother loves playing League of Legends. He absolutely was a dog at League of Legends. He was Diamond. He had a great time playing it and he was really good at it. But he's like, I tried so many times to get him to play Pokemon. I was like, dude, you'd love it. You love Teamfight Tactics in League. You would absolutely love Pokemon. He's like, it's too much. There's too many things that the game doesn't explain to you that I am uninterested in investing time into it. It takes too much time to train a team. It takes too much extra effort to learn everything that the game doesn't actually directly tell you about it. So I think that this takes away a lot of the complication of it, where if you just have a slider, you don't have to know how to train your Pokemon. You just move the slider to have that Pokemon be exactly how you want it. And that is incredibly exciting to me personally, as someone who loves competitive Pokemon, would love to get more people into competitive Pokemon. That is just super, super exciting to me. So for me personally, Champions is a game that I cannot wait to play on my Switch 2. I really cannot. It's super, super awesome that the game is coming so soon. Oh gosh, really can't get over how excited I am for that. So that is my list of the games that I am the most excited for the Switch 2, coming very soon, within the next 6 months here. Let me know in the comments below what games you are most excited for, because there are a ton of games, not even just the ones I mentioned here, but other games that are coming out that you could be excited about. So let me know all that. That is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, because it helps me out, helps the video out, and helps the channel out immensely. Check out the Discord, where people are talking Switch 2 stuff all the time. But until next time, peace.